Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the fourth edition and day 2 of the Battle for Blacktown. My name is Mark DePoli. I am joined tonight, gratefully, by Matthew Hubbard, who, of course, would have made this squad if it wasn't for an injury to one of his phalanges. Matty, thanks so much for joining us here. This is your first All-Star game that you'll be covering on the mic. You're usually out there in the heart of that defence. What are your initial thoughts heading into this one? It's hot and humid, isn't it?
At 37 years old, I'm glad I'm in this box and not out there. So good luck to all them boys running in this heat.
It's going to be a really tough one. Now, the good thing that the Spartans will be able to hold as they go throughout this match is that they're going to be, allegedly, making massive squad changes at halftime. We're going to see the bulk and a mix of fringe and cemented first-grade players playing in this first half. That includes the captain and now 4-cap Battle for Blacktown representative Peter Pelikanos, who will start in the heart of their back 5 defence. But also, the All-Stars will have to contest with the fact that their bench simply is smaller, but they will be versing a younger crop in the second half, some of them getting their first taste of senior football. Hubs, when you hear that, the fact that they'll be versing what should be a tougher team on paper in the first half and then a younger team on paper in the second half, how do you want the All-Stars, as an All-Star fan, to approach this game?
I think it's important that they don't blow their gasket the first 5 minutes. If they just sit back and sit well structurally as defence and just let Spartans keep the ball. This Spartans first grade obviously are 1 week away from their competition starting, so I don't think they're going to come out all guns blazing. I think they'll just want to keep the ball and wait their time to inject themselves into the game and then try and get a few shots away. But the second half will be very exciting to see. Some of the young talent coming through Spartans is always what I want to see. I love young kids getting to go at first grade, and it'll show some of these club footballers that are not getting paid, that have to pay their registration, a good test to see what that level is like at the age of 16, 17.
Exactly right. They're going to be coming up against a team of battlers, if you like, some local homegrown talents that have played and plied their trade in the NPL, maybe in their youth or even in the 20s, or even some of them in the first grade space at all levels of the NPL. I mean, there's some former Spartans players. First of all, you are one of them. You were part of the great Spartans dynasty, if you like, when they got promoted up into the first division just over 10 years ago now. But I think of the likes of Matty Pombard out there. Byron Grandemage spent time in Spartans colours as well. Josh Ross was playing first grade minutes, I do believe, but was, in truth, was majority a 20s player. Those boys will be wanting to prove something against the team who wear the colours they used to don themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you look at the BDSFA All-Stars team, as you said, there is a lot of players that have played their time Blacktown Spartans. Time changes. We get older, we get slower, where these young kids coming through are getting quicker these days. So I think it'll be a good battle first half. If the All-Stars can compose themselves, the second half, I think they'll get more into the game, even though their fitness will tie versus these young kids. I think, young kids make mistakes, where our BDSFA team that's only been back for 1 week, I think they'll give it a good crack.
There's some really good representation in the All-Stars squad. The majority of the people who'll be watching this live stream will be All-Star fans, if you like. I mean, highlighted by the 2025 Player of the Year, Aaron Avery, former Sydney FC representative at youth NPL level or NYL level back in the day, if you like, to throw back to those dearer times, perhaps. But also, he was a Manchester City trialist at one point. I mean, this guy tore up the Blacktown Combat Premier League level from the very first minutes. But also, he's joined by the likes of Jaden Zwerb, who is also making his 4th straight cap. Dylan Owusu, we know, is one of the best defenders going around. How important is it for those guys who have played against some of these Spartans players in this exhibition match before to make sure that while they're playing the better first grade players, they're locked in and keep this game tight?
I think it's just important, them blokes that have been around the game and have been at that level, that some of the blokes that might be a little bit nervous from the All-Stars team, they just show a bit of experience and knowledge and, calm them down when the game's not in their favour tonight, which it will be for long stages. So I hope the experienced boys just, slow the game down, get the ball on the deck, move it around and help out the boys that haven't actually ever played at that level and only played club soccer. So I think it's a really good challenge for them tonight.
It is super exciting. Now, if you are joining us for the first time, it has ticked past 7. As you can see, we've had a slight delay. We just want to make sure that we are absolutely positively within the Football New South Wales regulations on heat and humidity, because if we obviously move outside of those or play outside of those regulations, we are not, we become liable rather than the insurance policy. Enough of the fine print in black and white. Let's talk a bit more about the football and the sparkle that is the Battle for Blacktown. I mean, there are some, again, we've spoken about the All-Stars. Let's move across to the Spartans. Now, we've mentioned that they're going to have a couple of players that are playing in their first grade regularly this season. There are going to be a lot of 20s, even some 18s that play in that second half. I'll just throw to you quickly, Peter Pelikanos. You and I were talking about him in the pregame. He's the captain. He's made 4 caps. He's the highest Spartans representative in this fixture 4 years in a row. What do you know about his leadership skills? Obviously related to Dean Pelikanos, who's playing in Malaysia's top flight now. What do you know about Pelikanos and the qualities he brings out the back as a centre back yourself?
Very calm player, good experience of, marshalling his troops around the field, can hit a ball to your feet 30, 40 metres at a bullet. He's one of, probably the better defenders in the NPL competition, just from his, experience and knowledge of how to read the game. He might not be one of the quickest, but definitely he's one you want on your team to, calm these Spartans young boys around when they actually come on.
Speaking of young boys, now, we've obviously hinted that a lot of them are going to be playing in the second half, but someone who joined Spartans midway through last year and became the youngest ever representative to don a Spartans jersey is the son of a gun. His name is Dion Carl. He'll be wearing the 19 jersey. You might remember or think of a certain 1 or 2 players when you hear that surname. Dion Carl, in fact, the son of Nicky Carl, became the youngest debutant at 15 when he joined from SD Raiders and also had some stints at Marconi as well in his, I would say youth. He's still 16 now, but in his even fairer youth. Now, we haven't been able to watch him play in the preseason, but we know he's got among the goals in the sort of 8 to 10 months that he's been here. What an opportunity for a guy who's going to be watched by a lot of eyes this year and will be targeted probably by other NPL players and clubs. What kind of thing can he learn from this experience?
I've actually seen him play once last year when he made his debut, and good Lord, I think he's an up-and-coming future star. And I'm happy Blacktown's held on to him because you're going to see a future star come out of Blacktown, I think. And, you just look at his dad. His dad's played anywhere and everywhere at the top level. So he's got some good bloodlines in him.
Certainly. A Johnny Morrow medalist, that courses through his very veins. We're going to go through the lineups in just a second. It looks like the Spartans, led by Peter Pelikanos, are ready to grace this wonderful Blacktown Football Park pitch. Once again, thank you for joining us. Leave a like on the stream whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Say hi in the comments section. We will be responding to you throughout the game. We've got special guests joining us here on the mic as the game goes on. We're just a couple of minutes away from kickoff. Mark DePoli here, joined by former Spartan and former All-Star, none better, by the way, to represent us, Maddie Hubbard on the mic here tonight. Now, to those who might have been hoping for the PL2 versus 20 games, obviously the humidity and the heat in this January is so hard, and we've had to compete with it for a number of years now. Thrice in a row we've had delays and pushbacks and even cancellations. So that game will go ahead at a later date, yet to be decided. Stick around and keep an eye on the social media for that. But once again, Mark DePoli and Maddie Hubbard here for you. Please do leave a like on the stream. I think it's time we go through the lineups of these two teams. By the way, the referee in the centre will be Darren Glover, who spent 7 years at the Spartans. He was the club player of the year in 1988, and then he went on to win some BDSFA grand finals. So much like tonight's co-commentator, Maddie Hubbard, he is someone who is well-versed for both of these entities. We will start with the All-Stars as they are about to make their way out onto the pitch. About 5 minutes past 7 right now it is. Now, we believe, we cannot confirm yet because they're coached by Marion Kropp, who always leave their starting 11 till the very, very last minute. We believe that Oscar Osei will start in goal in his first year. He was a premiership winner who with the Marion boys, of course. We also think that Dylan Owusu will partner Jaden Zwereb, who have made 3 and 4 caps respectively for the All-Stars. In the centre of defence. Then Josh Ross and Dante Suarez will be the wing-backs/full-backs, if you like. It's a very Marion-heavy back line with that hint of Jaden Zwereb thrown in there. The former Nepean and prospect representative would have played against Spartans a lot in his youth, certainly. Now, again, we cannot confirm exactly the midfield pairing that is going to start. We believe it to be Matt Pombart next to Daniel McDougall. Matt Pombart played in the first ever Battle for Blacktown All-Star match. He returns some 3 years later after plying his trade interstate up in Queensland, the sunny state, of course, before returning back to his beloved Quakers Hill Juniors, who he enters his 14th season with this year. Danny McDougall has been able to combine training with the fact that his partner gave birth to a child in late mid to late December, which is fantastic that we're able to have him, considering he's especially tied up with duties elsewhere as well. Now, the wingers of this two team, I really cannot confirm this to you because it's not locked in just yet, but there has to be space for the 2025 Player of the Year, Aaron Avery. We imagine Marcus Correa might be facilitating from the wide areas as well. Through the middle, Ahmed Badat scored on Wednesday night against Hawkesbury, an incredible left-footed finish, so we've been told. He will partner Ethan Eichen, who has come the closest to scoring the maiden goal for the All-Stars in the Battle for Blacktown fixture. Now, in the Spartans jerseys, who are considered the home team here in Rooty Hill, we know it's Gene Marantos in the 40 jersey, just 23 years old, former Apia and Inner West Hawks representative. He'll begin in between the sticks. Angus Chance will play in his second cap. Should have got an assist in the very first year he played, if not for an all-time miss by the striker who he provided to. But Angus Chance, 28 years old into his physical prime, picked up 12 assists last year in the 2025 campaign. At the back three, from left to right, we'll read Matthew Martinago in the 18 jersey. Peter Pelikanos, as you know, is the captain. And youngster, 18-year-old Petar Bjazovic in the 62 jersey. The right side of fullback will be another young'un as well. It'll be Addison Wadala, who in last year's Battle for Blacktown against the PL2 All-Stars, the second division local heroes, picked up 2 assists. We believe the midfield three will also, the midfield two, will include new signing Paul Araujo in the 2 jersey, the 22-year-old, who is a civil engineer and a uni student. In his downtime has been able to juggle that with football, and we believe he will start next to Zach Sviligoi in the 38 jersey, a signing from Western City Rangers in the middle of last season. Milos Jankovic has a twin brother who will be playing in the second half, but the 19-year-old, who I believe is the older of the two, will start in the 28 jersey. He's next to Dion Carl, who we spoke about just a couple of minutes ago, the son of Nicky and the youngest debutant ever to play for the Blacktown Spartans in its 20-plus year history. The striker will be a man formerly of Bulls Academy, and before that he was at Parramatta Melita. It's Yusuf Aydin in the 7 jersey. He's still a teenager, and he has dynamite in his boots. That's the All-Star lineup up against the Spartans lineup. We believe it to be a 4-4-2 for the All-Stars and something of a 5-2-3 from the home side, the Spartans, who have won this fixture 3 times in a row. Hubs, I go to you. I bring you back in. What do you make of the 2 lineups, the 2 formations?
Oh, just looking at these Spartans first grade there, I don't think they're just here for a training session. They look absolutely pumped. But I think, the All-Stars, it's the best 11 of last year's competition. So I think we're in for a good game. I think the first 5-10 minutes, hopefully the All-Stars just, don't go 100 miles an hour and just settle into this game.
Hundreds of you watching already across both platforms. Thanks very much for joining us. So it does look like, in fact, Aaron Avery will start. Byron Grandemainge, we did not say he would start. We knew he was a little bit on the fence about whether the former Tigers, now Doonside Hawks grand final winner, where he might start. Would it be off the bench? It's not going to be. He will start in the middle. Aaron Avery with the first touch of the game off of kickoff finds Daniel McDougall, goes all the way back to Dylan Owusu, who was a right back at Blacktown for so long, and for Marion, but now these days in his more twilight years is now a centre back. It's a first touch. It looks like for Yusuf Aydin, that was searching for Dion Carl in the number 19 jersey, and Spartans, who won it back, will keep this ball from going dead. Referee, I remind you, is Darren Glover, who's played in both the Blacktown Premier Leagues and for the Spartans for a healthy number of years for both. A first touch in the middle of the pitch for Sviligoi, who sends that expertly out wide. Addison Abdullah, just 18 years old, already 2 caps in the battle for Blacktown. A chance to whip this in up against, I believe, Dante Suarez. Lovely ball into the middle, cleared away by Jaden Zwereb. 4 caps worth of battle for Blacktown experience right there. Aaron Avery, our first one on the pitch in the battle for Blacktown for him. Carl goes down. Grandemainge was crunched in that moment. And luckily for the 24-year-old Byron Grandemainge, he was able to take the free kick nice and quickly. Correa on the ball. Fast start by the Spartans, but All-Stars looking to settle themselves, Matty.
Yeah, actually, the All-Stars have settled in well, but, there's some quality balls out there already from the Spartans team. I think it's important the All-Stars actually wake up a little bit here because Spartans are out for some goals, it looks like.
1 minute into the game, Sviligoi with the best moment in a Spartans jersey in the number 38. Keep an eye on him in this first half. We think he'll be going off at the break between the 2 stanzas. Addison Abdullah finds Dion Carl, 18 years old and 16 years old, linking up. Correa was beaten there. A championship winner with Doonside, of course. And Carl goes back to Sviligoi, who played that exceptional pass in the opening seconds of the game. This is Peter Pelikanos. Congratulations to you for being the equal cap record holder. This is Matthew Martinago, second year at the club for the young but very, very, very tall and imposing centre-back. I believe that's Milos Jankovic on the far side. This just goes back to Sviligoj here. So as we've mentioned, and if you are just tuning in for the first time, Spartans likely to make a host of changes at the second half. So the All-Stars' job is to hold on tight, but a chance already for Martinago, I believe, who from centre-back came forward, Ramos-esque, into a dangerous position, and a good save for Marion's goalkeeper, Oscar Osei, Matty.
Yeah, it was a very good save. It was a nice turn inside the box. I think also if we can get the All-Stars instead of just...
Oh, big chance, and cleared away at the 11th hour by Gene Marantos in goal on his own Battle for Blacktown debut. Sorry to interrupt you, Manny, but geez, that was close by Correa to getting there first.
Yes, it was. As I was saying, I think it's important that All-Stars just try and get the ball on the deck and keep some kind of ball. Otherwise, they will tire out pretty quick, even when the goalkeeper's got it.
Oh,
good turn by Avery here.
Avery, beautiful. That's why he played at the highest level of pretty much any player out there, if you like, which is funny because he is donning the All-Stars jersey. Picked up what might seem like a measly 4 goals and 10 assists for what was deemed and was awarded the Player of the Year in Blacktown. But trust me, watch this guy play for more than about 5 minutes and you'll realise that he is the metronome at the top of this midfield. Byron Grandemange takes a weak-footed corner. Yes, weak-footed corner into a dangerous area. Owusu was there as we look for the maiden All-Stars goal in the PL1 versus first grade fixture. Correa goes back to Avery. Left-footed dink in. Didn't quite get the oomph behind it he wanted. Sviligoj sends it here to the 16-year-old Dion Carl. Lovely feet by the man who certainly knows about futsal trickery of that kind of echelon. Could send this left or right. He goes himself through the centre. Dion Carl still from distance! And it got too much oomph behind it. And the 16-year-old has already worried the goalkeeper, Oscar Osei, Matty.
Yeah, he's got some talent, that young kid. I'd hate to be out there trying to mark him, that's for sure. But yeah, I hope the All-Stars get the ball here and try and play it out. Even if they make mistakes, that's what they're here for. They're here to learn, make mistakes. For obviously, park footballers, mistakes will happen. But it'd be good to, see the ball movement.
Geez, Dante Suarez will have to go from marking the likes of Blake Skur and Ethan Eichen in the run into last year's grand final runner-up position for Marion, and now he has to mark none other than Dion Carl, who's already showing that he's Spartan's very own Lamine Yamal. Good turn there, or at least attempted turn by Ahmed Badap, but he ended up shielding the ball expertly well. It's come its way to Avery, but he trips over the ball of all people and picked up there by Jankovic.
He is human, Avery. He does make mistakes.
Unbelievable. Jankovic trying to feed this through. That looks a little bit overhit, and Oscar Osei comes for that, and he just sees it out for a goal kick. But the Spartans living a little dangerously. Oh, sorry, I should say the All-Stars living a little dangerously, and the Spartans are turning on the heat early. Just 4.5 minutes into this one, and they've got to be careful not to go behind early because that could really dampen some spirits here. This is Owusu who receives from Jaden Zverev. Owusu was the player of the match in the first ever battle for Blacktown. Has been struggling with injuries in his last couple of years, but he's turned it around and become a really accomplished centre-back. That looked like a really big kick out there by Ethan Eichen.
No, that's just Ethan. He loves to get in there and hustle the players, hustle the defenders.
Matt, can we get a quick injury update from you? What's the go with you?
So pretty much from last year when I missed the semis and final, my finger hasn't healed yet, so I've gone in for another operation and now got a screw in my finger, so I'll be out for another 5 weeks.
Yuck. And eventually the ricochet ball finds its way to Pelikanos, but he's twisting and turning, and the number 14 had to go back to his goalkeeper. And it was, in the end, a good touch by Marantos to just slow things down as Grandemange put the pinch on. This is Pelikanos now. Peter squares it to Matthew Martinago, former Parramatta FC representative himself, so plenty of crossover between us and the old Melita boys. Martinago, once again, who had the best chance of the game so far as he marauded from centre-back. This is Sviligoj, who's been really impressive with his passing range so far. Square, a little bit behind him to find Pelikanos in the middle of the pitch. It's been 6 minutes on the dot right now. It was because the halfway line through the Spartans, and a really good kick out there by Owusu. He wanted to charge in hard here, but Jankovic was really, really composed. I believe it was Jankovic. In fact, it might have even been Bjazovic, forgive me. And then Angus Chance, the left wing-back, who picked up 12 assists last year, will get that ball under control. He's been coached by Ben Rollison, who is no longer at this club at Spartans. He's been coached by Ben Rollison, his former coach, on 4 separate occasions at 4 different clubs. Would you believe that? What a stat that is. This is Zach Sviligoj, who joined from Western Sydney Rangers, where, of course, Ben Rollison last plied his trade. This is Bjazovic, the young'un, getting a run out at centre-back. George Timotheu played in this fixture last year, who actually played with Aaron Avery in the Sydney FC youth system, but unfortunately those two won't get to cross paths here again some 10 years after that fact. Great touch out of the sky by Addison Abdullah. Byron Graname trying to close him down. This is Dion Carl, who's been good to watch so far. Abdullah and the teenagers linking up once again. Left-footed ball in, dangerous. 2 All-Stars went for that. It was the left-footed Danny Mack who got there first, but it will be a corner to defend. And, geez, they have some height here, the Spartans.
Yeah, but the All-Stars have a bit of height too. I think it's, so far, a good battle here. Spartans haven't put their foot down yet, but also All-Stars are, defending with a compact formation that's not letting them through, so which is good to see. One training session, it's good to see.
It was at least the amount of training that the boys have ever done, but let's see if that comes to hurt, hinder, or perhaps help them, because in the last couple of years, we've worked the All-Stars hard in preparation, but the amount of players that were playing both the Invasion Cup and the African Cup was certainly not to be ignored. So these players stay fit in the off-season, as Oscar Osei does his best to slow down time, but we're a long way from the halfway whistle, that's for sure. So this will eventually be whipped in right by the OTS filming crew, by Angus Chance, the left wing-back, coming in to do a job from the right-sided corner flag. This will in-swing towards Oscar Osei's front post. It is delivered in now towards the back stick, and a really, really good and confident claim by Oscar Osei, who actually joined Marion off of the plane from Ghana, had connections to some of the Marion players himself, and joined straight up. The likes of Kelvin Ofori, and who's not in the squad today, also due to injury, much like you, Matt, but also Dylan Owusu out there, who have both represented Ghana at the African Cup, down the road at the Wanderers on several occasions across the years. That's where a lot of these boys are able to stay fit. So, interestingly, the Spartans have actually started hotter, I would say, in terms of the chances that they've had in the last couple of years in particular. And the All-Stars have been doing a little bit more gripping onto the game than they have had to in probably the last 2 occasions where it's been particularly close in the early moments. But finally, perhaps, a bit of ascendancy, and at least in the territory department, they're going to have the ball up high. Aaron Avery, who can turn something into something from nothing, but that ball goes dead and it will be an orange throw-in. Hubs, I want to see more of the number 7 from the Spartans. Yusuf, who is apparently, I've been told, I've never watched him with my own 2 eyes, but apparently he's a real dynamite. That was a foul throw-in perhaps, but either way we go on by Angus Chance. This is Araujo in his first competitive start for the club. Picked up here by Danny McDougall, playing his 2nd consecutive All-Star cap. Zwerb, who's on 4, finds Grandamange. And a nice little All-Star flavoured triangle here finds Dante Suarez, who actually was going to, or at least wanted to join Doonside at the start of last year, was not picked to overcome their fullbacks, and instead he found himself at Marion and made a grand final, but eventually lost to Doonside in it. There was a little bit of a shirt pull there, but Darren Glover's not the kind of one to give the little ones. In behind, Ethan Eichen, haven't really seen him on the ball all too much. Really well cleared away there by Pelikanos. Spartans defending in their own box. I believe that to be
Josh Ross,
who's done well. In fact, Josh Ross was the one who got forward in a pot shot by Eichen. Well, he's always going to have one in these kind of contests. He's one of the most regular and frequent All-Star shot takers. And he got that one pretty horribly wrong, but he'll get another chance, I'm sure. That's better by the All-Stars.
Yeah, I think they're settled into the game now, which is good to see. I mean, well, time will tell come second half if fitness comes into play, but then we've got the old man, Scotty Jackson, might come on and burn down that left-hand side at 37 years old.
Well, the 37-year-old is a former state-level sprinter, so even if he's lost 15% of his legs, he will still be pretty frighteningly quick. Let's see what Angus Chance can do facing the sun out of the sky. Lovely, lovely work there. Was he fouled? He was. Darren Glover gives his first foul since the opening 10 seconds of the match.
It's the first time we've seen Glover get out of the circle. It's good to see.
It's a pre-season for the referees as well. Voted the referee of the year last year, hence why he gets this fixture, of course. Congratulations to him.
Which is also good to see that the local, referees get to referee a game like this too, and they don't bring in an MPL ref. That's good to see.
Sviligoy receives that from his captain, Peter Pelikanos. Dion Carl here in the 19 jersey. And the Wanderers an SD rated representative. Time spent at Marconi as well. One of the first to answer my commentary questionnaire when I sent it out about a week ago, so always very appreciative to those who get back as quickly as possible. Martinago just wants to slide from one centre-back across to the other, picked up here by Petar Bjazovic. Bjazovic is 18 years old, formerly of Sydney United and Mounties. Very, very closely affiliated clubs in terms of the geographical location of both. Martinago, who was actually a pretty frequent goal scorer with his head last year for the Spartans from set pieces, so he'll be a danger, I'm sure. Correa picks it up for his club teammate, Byron Grandamange, who's got 1 goal and 2 assists in All-Star matches, but representing the PL2 All-Stars, that was. Sviligoy gets his first pass wrong of the afternoon, picked up with consummate ease by Dante Suarez, and this is Jaden Zwerb, the 21-year servant as of this year of his club side and you could say his family club in Doonside Hawks. 21 years, believe that. There's some players playing out there who haven't even been alive for 21 years. Good defending there and tracking back by Ethan Eichen. This is a really interesting formation set up here by Kevy and Shiar, who of course are the Marion coaches, elected for the second time in the 4 years of this exhibition contest to be the All-Star coaches. There aren't many better, if any better, than the duo from the Yong. Square pass by Martinago inside their own half, and now Spartans escape it via Bjazovic. They just creep inside the All-Stars defensive half. Look at how defensive they're set up here. This is a really interesting tactical setup. Very, very interesting. Matty, how much time did you spend in the change room before this game? What were they saying?
Oh, I didn't miss the pre-talk, but it's set up in a block way to stop the Spartans getting through, which is smart as a coach from Kev and she's to, sit defensively back, which is Spartans are having trouble to penetrate through the, centre of the park, which they like to do. So I think very good tactics, but this long ball is absolutely, it's killing them a lot, so they've got to be careful of that.
It's actually really well done by Marcus Correa, who I've been told, not by him, but by his teammates, is having an incredibly hard-working pre-season. He's been working his backside off as Marcus Correa, who, of course, spent time playing internationally with, I believe, 4th Division club, FC Internazionale Berlin.
Yes, he's due for a half marathon, I think, in June during the season, the boys were telling me.
There you go. My all-age 17 mates wanted me to do that too, but I told them absolutely not. A chance here, but this should be red. Jaden Zwerb is always going to be the quickest to the ball. You could argue he's the quickest player in this entire district at any level of the game, and it was good shielding in the end.
I think just slow it down a little bit here, All-Stars, and take a breath.
Just 14 minutes into this one, Matty. There's plenty of time left to go in this. Still waiting for the maiden first All-Star goal in this PL1 versus first grade fixture. Suarez living dangerously, but really well done in place of Liam Howarth, who's away and injured at the moment, so couldn't be eligible for the squad. Was, of course, the Team of the Year left back for the 3rd year in a row as per referee and club votes. This is Sviligoy again, who's been impressive in the opening parts of this game. It's a nice lobbed ball. And, of course, Jaden Zwerb was the first to track him down. And so this will be a throw-in. It's really hot. You can see the players out there, some of them already on their haunches, hands on hips. There's referees using sweatbands, thinking that they're in the Australian Open. We are glad that you chose this fixture over the Sydney Derby, by the way. I suggest you have both and the commentary of this one on, as that one goes into touch off of Aaron Avery. We haven't seen on the ball in the last 5 minutes or so, but geez, he can do some really incredible things. The All-Stars will be hoping to ping it to him at some point. This is the star number 7 striker who's just joined the club. This is Addison Abdullah now, goes square across the ground to Dion Carl, shimmies into space and shoots, and Dylan Owusu got his chest in the way of that one. That'll sting in the morning, especially if they're using the Mitre ball, which I think they are. And Spartans will recover the ball inside their own half. Sviligoy picks it up on the halfway line, and the All-Stars survived. He goes for that long ball over the top to Adi Abdullah once again, and this time it's Byron Grandemain doing the defensive work. He's actually played all throughout the defence into his in his NPL youth career. He's used to it. Dion Carl picks it up inside the box and tries a pot shot off of balance and on his weak foot, and it goes out for a goal kick.
I mean, if you look at Spartans, they are actually a very good team. So I think they're going to be one of the dangerous teams in the NPL side this year. They've got some quality players out there. I mean, it is hard. Obviously, they're dropping down a few levels to play the All-Stars tonight. So the motivation for them is probably not where it is at NPL level. But, I mean, they are knocking the ball around well, and it is hard to get in behind 11 defenders, which seems like the All-Stars are defending with 11 at the moment.
Well, the game to go tomorrow as well. Originally it was going to be a 60-30 split, so those who play 60 minutes today, we're going to play 30 tomorrow. But with the cancelled PL2 game, they've shifted themselves around a little bit, it seems, at least. Oscar Osei's instructed his All-Star backline to go nice and long. A little push by Sviligoy was enough to open up the space to win that header. Dante Suarez glanced it off his own forward, and out there goes for a Spartans throw-in about 30 yards from goal as the crow flies. Spartans were looking to get that first goal, which usually, well, not usually, in this fixture specifically, it is proving, has always to be the pivotal one. And the one that wins the game. It's been Josh Alvarez before, Zachariah Harang, last year, and a chance here for Milos Jankovic, and in the end it fell kindly to Dylan Owusu, who then give it away. Silly of all people to do that, and a chance for Angus Chance, I believe. And it was easily saved by Oscar Osei, who can really hoof a ball long. Aiken competing with it, with a palm in the back of his head, and it looks like Avery went for that ball, and it will be chest controlled.
We'll count that as a shot on target.
By Morantos. Well, yeah, so the Spartans concede their first shot on target, it seems. And the All-Stars are just trying to find some kind of a foothold in this game. I think if I'm Kevi or Shia, as we approach the 20-minute mark, I'd be saying we need to get to half-time with this scoreline, that scoreboard not ticking over. We're not making chances at the moment. We need to sit in, and we need to make sure that we're in it for the second half when there is going to be some heavy rotation.
We're about to go into our first sub here. Looks like Ethan Aiken's about to go off for a spell.
Okay, so Michael Adamarco seems to be coming on in just a moment.
He's got some pace coming back from MPL level as well.
Certainly does. A chance here, and again, it's Angus Chance, left-footed delivery in towards the back stick. Got 12 assists last season. This will go a little bit too far-fetched on this occasion, and it goes out for a goal kick eventually off Dion Carl.
I think Wyatt's out there. Give a shout out to Julian. He's coached in the BDSFA comp for a few years now, and he's moved on his coaching career. He's now with Blacktown Spartans first grade, so well done to him.
A little bit of a change of formation. It seems Ahmed Badat almost looks like he's playing as a number 8, if not number 10. Michael Adamarco is solely a striker. You do not want to play him on the wings because his striking instincts are so good. He's less versatile, but his role as a 9 is so brilliant. And Ethan Aiken was kind of occupying that right-hand space. Let's see if there's something of a formation shift here as the All-Stars try and get a grip, a foothold on this game. Well won there by Araujo. This is Matinago. And Sfiligoy goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, making his competitive debut for the Spartans. There is Anthony Buzanis, there is Gene Marantos, and there is Daniel Petsalis. 3 goalkeepers that have joined the Spartans this year, all of Greek/Cypriot heritage, which is fantastic to hear. What a way it is, how it's eventuated that a club called the Spartans finds itself with a Greek-ish captain and 3 Greek Cypriot names perhaps in the net. I think that's fantastic. Jankovic picks us up from the left-hand side of their attack.
Oh,
a
nice
really
ball.
good ball in. That has to be the first goal, and it is. It's fantastically taken on what we'll consider his competitive debut by Yusuf Aydin from the Bulls Academy straight into the All-Star fixture.
Quality cross.
Really, really good by the youngster, the 19-year-old Jankovic, who finds another youngster in Yusuf Aydin. And this man who is still eligible for 20s is going to be a real menace this year, as the Spartans look to really push for promotion. But you have to say, Matty, that has been coming.
It has been coming. The All-Stars are slowly starting to get tired now, which is understandable. They've training once since the grand final last year. But, Spartans probably would have thought they would have put one away earlier. So hats off to the All-Stars for holding them out for 20 minutes in the game.
So, as we've seen in the last 3 years, the first goal is decisive. The All-Stars are going to have to back themselves and create history here this evening if they are to get this result in their favour. A reminder that if we are deadlocked and we are at a draw come the end of 90 minutes, we will go straight to a penalty shootout, which we had for the first time last year in the PL2 versus 20s rescheduled fixture, as Jaden Zwerb with his weaker foot clears that away to find his club teammate Byron Grandamange, but Martinago read it well. That was poor by Byron, of all people, two-time PL2 Player of the Year and Golden Boot winner.
I think whatever the score is, we should go to a shootout for the fans here tonight.
I think they probably deserve it, braving the heat to be here. Martinago found his captain Pelikanos. Pelikanos found the youngster Petar Bjazovic. And the Spartans, if history tells us anything, are already home and hosed. So like we said, as the offside flag is raised for the first time, like we said, the All-Stars will have to create history and score their maiden goal if they are to equalise things here. We're heading into the 7th half of football that the All-Stars have been unable to score against the Spartans. What a good header it was by Yusuf Aydin. You could tell by the way he leapt into the air that he timed it perfectly. Maybe if you were there, Matty Hubbard, you would have read the defensive play. Who knows?
I would have been subbed off. 20 minutes too long for me.
It's only the 21st minute. Dion Carl, who's coming central to pick up this ball here, finds Sfiligoy just a couple of paces behind him, who tried to clip that ball again in behind. Dante Suarez, who's also come central to track Dion Carl, so he's got a man-marking job, it seems. Byron Grandamange playing as like a left mid, it seems. We can confirm that the wide wingers are more like left and right mids. Jankovic, who has an assist to his name, There was a Jankovic on the score sheet last year as well in the 20s fixture. Marco and Miloš, the twins. We'll see both of them here tonight. It's a first real moment of involvement that I can remember for Daniel McDougall. Can he put that ball in behind for Michael Adamarko? And the workers and Marion boys respectively couldn't combine. And then he's pirouetted on the line. Petar Bjazovic there. That's really expertly well done. Lovely to watch, Matty.
Very good turn there.
Sviligoj in his first full pre-season for the club. Nice touch there.
They love this right-hand side Spartans.
Well, when you've got this kid driving
quality.
at fullbacks, it's hard to not see why. Good turn there by Sviligoj. Marcus Correa behind him, who actually think got a touch. Montenegro will clip it forward. Should be won by Jaden Zverev, who never really loses a header, even at 5'6". Lovely work by Sviligoj past Avery. Avery perhaps covering the least amount of yards so far of any of the All-Stars players. I wonder if they might be looking at that as they try to keep these scores tied up. No touch there, says Darren Glover. Angus Chance took a slip there. Hopefully he's okay. Jankovic threatening again on that far side. A couple of step-overs was blocked.
The All-Stars had a hit out Tuesday night, I think it was, versus Hawkesbury, and went down 2-1. So they've got some kind of fitness in their legs.
I remember Dat scored in that game. He was assisted by Ethan Eichen. The latter is not on the pitch anymore. And we go to our first drinks break. So we've been doing a lot of summarising in the last couple of moments. So we'll do our best to sort of change the tone a little bit. But, the Spartans are really, for the first time, and I think the history of the All-Star versus Spartans Battle for Blacktown fixture, they've really come out here with intent to play properly. And even though it's a rotated first-grade squad, there are still first-grade players here who are playing like they want to earn their spots this season, do you think?
Oh, yeah, but, I mean, the coach would expect that. When you're paying players, doesn't matter who you're versing, what opposition club, Division 1, 2, 3, you expect your players to come out and treat every game the same every week. So, I mean, if they went in at 0-0, the coach would be disappointed, but then you're going to see some young kids come out and, it's going to be tough for the All-Stars to keep up with these 17-year-olds in the second half.
A reminder as well that they are playing a game tomorrow, and that will be in the heat as well. It's not going to be easy for them. Everybody using this drinks break to the best of their abilities. Of course, they are coached by James, better known as Jimmy around these parts, but James Demetriou, who actually made his one and only Spartans appearance in this fixture last year, came on for a 20 to 30 minute stint in the second half with the game seemingly wrapped up by that point. Of course, former Swansea representative who plied his trade in England before finding his way back into the NPL world through the likes of Heidelberg and Town Rangers FC, as we know them now as Western City Rangers. He's taken over from the assistant to become the full-time head coach of this Spartans outfit, and I think he'll be really happy with his first Battle for Blacktown first quarter of the game, I would say, in what is his first, official game of the season, if you like. Spartans are the first ones to return out into the middle.
Will the BDSFA be keeping Mark all year this year after his few A-League debuts calling games? If anyone out there hasn't heard, you've got to listen to what Mark's doing at the moment.
I appreciate the kind words. I will be here, and this has been confirmed with the BDSFA. I will be here for every Saturday. Every Saturday has been bookmarked with the PL1 and 2, or PL1 or 2 match of the round games. Is where I'll ply my trade this year, and in podcast format as well. With a new editing team to help me as well, thanks to the OTS crew, led by Owen Kossipa, out here taking photos and video content here for you all. Lovely people here today, which I'm sure both sets of players will appreciate. Seconds away from the game restarting. Anyone saying nice things in our comment section, Matty?
It's been a bit quiet here. Jake from Marrong is loving that you're back on, and he loves your voice. Great. That's about it.
Lucky me. Sviligoj, who did expertly well to pirouette with the ball in the sky there, but actually the ball went out before he performed that bit of magic. Throw-in taken. Avery, but off his chest and out for a throw-in. Spartans. And it's the Orange Odyssey at the moment here. Turned by Adamarko, but yet to really see. Ooh, Sviligoj just pummeled him to the ground off the ball. Then he's got involved accidentally as Aaron Avery goes for his second long-distance Orlando Engelar-esque effort.
That's out for a throw-in, Avery.
Well, at least the All-Stars can put a bit of pressure on here. Good to see you have some fans.
Have you heard any talk around the park for the local comp this year of new players or team strengthening?
Yeah, so I heard that you're going to be coaching I heard that you're going to be coaching Real Madrid, mate. That's what I heard.
No way, I'm not taking over Ellie.
First time that we've seen Matty Pombart on the ball. 3 years between drinks for the number 18 he wears today. Number 8 he wears at Quakers Hill Juniors, of which, as I mentioned, he will be entering his 14th season at QH.
Quality player.
Or a chance for Yusuf Aiden once his brace, and Oscar Osei was braver, but he gets to use his hands, of course. Aiden's already got a goal on his competitive debut via his forehead.
Also, we've seen another sub. Cullen's come on now from Polonia, so it's good for him to get out there. He's a quality player as well.
Yeah, really good to see a guy who captained and coached the PL2 All-Stars last year is selected as an impact player in the PL1 fixture just 12 months later. A former Pons boy as well. Michael Cullen, a former Spartans boy in his youth as well. Hawkesbury City as well as part of his resume.
Be a bit different for him this year. First time not coaching playing at Polonia. They've got a new coach now, Lewis, ex-Blacktown Spartans coach. So it's going to be good times at Polonia this year, I think, for them.
You're a bit more familiar with Lewis. Can you tell us more about him, please?
Quality coach, loves, like, you won't see rocking up the training, pumping out, fitness drills. It's all with the ball. He loves doing every drill, every game. It has to be, you've got to be on the ball. So, and the word from the Polonia boys, they're loving him coaching and they love his style. So, I thought almost assuredly the Spartans were going to have a penalty awarded, but Darren Glover was not bemused by the appeal. And in fact, it's the All-Stars who win their own set piece right by the corner flag. Thank you for that little update on Polonia's situation. Yeah, there's some other things happening from around the grounds. I know that there's movement with a set of brothers out of Workers. One of the worst kept secrets in the competition, but we've heard it from their mouths explicitly, so we can say it because they've told me. We'll be heading to familiar pastures for at least the older of those two boys. Adi Abdullah here for the Spartans, goes back behind the halfway line for Martinago, and the captain picks it up for the Spartans. 4th year at the club, 4th Blacktown All-Star representative match. This is Martinago, goes all the way back. Arantos will clear it. Ooh, a bit upwards rather than outwards. This will test Adi Abdullah in the sky. Oh, good
Lovely touch. Michael Cullen was there. In his first moment defensively, there was a little touch off of his arm. And they just take it as a throw-in. This is played immediately to Paul Araujo. Not the first Araujo to play for the Spartans in recent years. We recently had former Sydney FC representative Daniel Araujo play for the side too. He actually deputised 2 years ago in the Battle for Blacktown as well. So the second Araujo. Angus Chance thought about it. Goes for the dink towards Dion Carl. Picked up here by Michael Cullen. And the Polonia boy is going to try a bit of trickery up against Adi Abdullah. He's 11 years his junior, and he couldn't get past him. Cullen takes that throw in as hard and as long as he can. The first real moment in a while for Ahmed Badat. Want to see more of the Golden Boot winner on the ball. Adamarco combining with the Golden Boot winner on 2 occasions in 2023 and 2025. Here he is, Ahmed Badat. Oh, what a silly giveaway. That was a genuine opportunity to break forward. And now the Spartans have their own with the All-Stars midfield perplexed, and Pombart on the ground wins a free kick. Looks like Darren Glover's happy to let the All-Stars out of their cage sometimes when they get put into it by the Spartans. They've been alleviated there. Touch out wide for Byron Grandemain, who's swapped wings, it seems. Up here against Petar Bjazovic. The latter is just as quick. Free kick again.
Here's a chance for the All-Stars.
For the All-Stars. So I would imagine that Avery is going to put his foot all over this ball. What's your guess?
I think he's struggling to get over the other side of the park at the moment. He's blowing. This will be a first as well. I haven't seen Jaden go up for he's going up now. This will be the first time ever I haven't seen him in the box on a free kick.
Right, so Dante Suarez will mark the sole goal scorer of today, Yusuf Aiden, who's hugging the halfway line. It's actually going to be Byron Grandemain, who has a free kick goal to his name some 4 years ago for the PL2 All-Stars against the 20 Spartans, but this will be more of a delivery rather than a direct strike. It's Grandemain who delivers. A good ball into the front post. Was there a hand there? Owusu put a claim in for it, and Spiligoy slows it down. Dion Carl, Pombart trying to slow him down. Spartans have been able to go back to their keeper. This time his clearance is a bit more comprehensive, but it does come straight to Owusu. Lumps it forward. Avery threatening. Well won there by Captain Sparta. And this is Dion Carl. Crosses the halfway line on this near side. Running up the right of the All-Star, I should say Spartans attack. This is Avery now, one back by Zwereb to find the player of the year. But that in strong on Bjazovic there. He looks a little worse for off the back of that, but Spartans are able to slow things right down here. We're 1/3 of the way through the game. We have crossed past the 31-minute mark now, in fact, and It's the Spartans who are in the lead 1-0 thanks to Yusuf Aiden on his competitive debut. What a crossfield switch of play.
He's a quality player, 38.
Yeah, Sfiligoy has been really impressive. It's only his first preseason in Spartans colours, but he's a Spartans youth representative, so he's coming back home.
He's trouble.
Another chance. It looks identical to the first goal that they scored, and it does touch the top netting. And Oscar Osei, nicknamed Onana by his teammates and coaches, does watch that one go over. But that was nearly identical to the first goal, Matt.
Yeah, some quality balls in from Blacktown. They're starting to, press forward a bit more here, but the All-Stars just need to hold on for another, I think, 10, 15 minutes, and that'll be a good result in the first half, I think. Crucially
important that this scoreline does not have another one next to the Spartans' name, because they will want to get up against the younger folk who are playing, for some of them, their first bit of senior football ever. Zwerb, who you could argue is the best player on the park and has been for a number of years since he returned from the NPL world into the clubland. Stay tuned, by the way, for some special guests in the second half. They will include Kyle Jordan, who is the boys' TD here at the Spartans. And as his boys will get the chance to run out against the All-Stars, we want to hear exactly what he has to say about the occasion and what they might learn from it. Might have seen it teased on our social media pages prior to this.
Ball.
Another crossfield switch of play of pure excellence. Abdullah, who's picked up goal contributions in this fixture before. Owusu clears that one away, but straight back to the number 65, who will allow this to roll all the way out for a throw. And this could be the time, the year that Addison Abdullah really asserts himself as a first-grade regular. A couple of minutes here and there, games here and there. Still, as a kid, as a 17-year-old last year, he pings that back to his similarly aged centre-back on the left-hand side. This now is Angus' chance. And Araujo goes back to Pelecanos. Sends it back to Araujo. Chance to Jankovic, and really well butted off the ball there by Joshua Ross in the number 2 jersey. Another former Spartans representative in his youth, all the way up to 20s, I do believe. Michael Cullen, that was a really testing ball to him, and he's done well to get it under control at the first and then second time of asking. This will be cleared away with some oomph behind it by Josh Ross. Montenegro did well to find Petar Bjazovic. It's a makeshift back line that probably won't be debuting in round 1 next week, but they've done really well, and credit to the young man Petar Bjazovic, and this one here to the right wing back, if you like. Although I like to class them more as midfielders, as they are really the creative drive in this team so far. Araujo again, Owusu in strong, another chance for Araujo again, and Adi Abdallah came central, cleared away by Dante Suarez. There is Dion Carl. Bleach Blonde puts it out wide. Araujo again, a switch of play to find Adi Abdallah.
Danger here.
Really, really dangerous, but so good to watch. And Spartans with a real chance through Dion Carl again, front post, smacked at the keeper, cleared away just about enough at the second time of asking by Dante Suarez. Will be counting his lucky stars there. A for his keeper and B for the scuff clearance falling right back to him. Oh, a swing and a miss. Hopefully Ahmed Badat's okay. Play will go on. And the Spartans looking like the ones that they're the more switched on right now. The All-Stars were looking a bit starstruck there, but hopefully Ahmed's okay. Still danger on here with a bit of a gap in the midfield. Ahmed's not looking all that good. Hopefully he's okay. And he's not marking Abdallah here. He's now back into the contest. He's looking real worse for wear. I think he's a bit dazed and confused, but the All-Stars should be able to get out of danger here. They do via a nutmeg of Adi Abdallah. This is Zach Sfiligoy. Overhit that one, overcooked. Angus Chance competing with Josh Ross there. Massive coming together between two 28-year-olds. Oh, lovely work by Byron Grandemains, the former Town Rangers representative, doing quite well against the old local rivals of the TR. Pombart, another Town Rangers representative for a great number of years, from 14s all the way through to 20s, and a chance to get that ball off, but Darren Glover's not going to give that one. Adamarco was begging for it, and the former Western Sydney Wanderers 20s bagsman is not going to get the rub of the green on that occasion. This is Jankovic, and not a lot of All-Star players back. Why?
Went out.
Ball went out, so that's the reason why it slowed right down. Ball back in play. Oh, jeez. Smacking the deck hard was Aaron Avery. Not a nice surface to fall on as well. Dion Carl. Adi Abdallah. Danger brewing here. Oh, lovely trickery between both feet there. And the touch went the wrong way by Yusuf Aiden. Adamarco.
This is the problem the All-Stars have. They just can't get the ball.
There's no
can't hold it up. Yeah, we're struggling to get forward here.
Pombart Again, 2-3 players around, and the fitness of the Spartans shining through here. Their best finish came last season under the tutelage of Jimmy Demetriou, and you're seeing the fruits of that labour right now. Avery leaves that as it glanced across his chest to find Josh Ross, who bounces it back to the number 23, the player of the year, Byron Grandamange. Haphazardly finds a way to get it to Ahmed Badat, who's shaken off those roly-poly concerns, but it's found its way here to Dion Carl, who's got long legs and a lot of pace. And the 16-year-old cuts inside, plays it square to Chance, the left wing back from a long way out and a long way from home, and it's easily saved in the end by Oscar Osei, who makes his maybe 7th of the evening already. Grandamange in behind, a chance. Adamarco is quick.
Good ball.
It's just him all on his own. He's going to have to do something incredible here. He pile drives it, but it was under hit in the end. It needed to try and force a corner or a spring back into the box, and neither of those things happened, and the Spartans come away with it. Up the right-hand side of their attack, the left-hand side of the All-Star defence. We're at the 38th minute now. Martinango goes back to the goalkeeper. Jean Marantos sends that out wide. Sviligoy has swapped from right centre-back to left centre-back, and again, look what he can do. Geez, that's the umpteenth long-field, cross-field switch of play. In by Abdallah. Lovely ball again. Glancing header went wrong, but still the chance here for Chance. And Zwereb, the 4th year in a row for the 4-cap All-Star representative, where he makes a clearance off the line. Zwereb remains heroic, and that tagline sticks by him for another 12 months. Another clearance off the line against Spartans. They would know exactly who he is at this point. Abdallah. Dion Carl. Want to see this kid stay on for the remainder of the game. He's been good to watch.
I think he's touched the ball more than anyone today. Had more shots on goal.
Let him have it. Jankovic goes square. He's gone from left wing to right wing. Sviligoy teed one up from distance. Oh, lovely touch. Nice. This is really good by the Spartans. And Araulo, he sends that one wide, harmlessly wide. It'll be a goal kick. Last 5 minutes of this first stanza, Matt. That looks like Ethan Eichen coming back on.
Ahmed's going off.
Ahmed will go off. I think he'll have a chance to just make sure that he's okay after that really awkward landing about 10 minutes ago.
I need to get the doctor in there to check his HIA. He might have to have spell for 20 minutes like the NRL.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay. The sub's been made, but the ball was put back into play a bit too quickly, a bit too hastily by the All-Stars.
It's actually good to see a fair few people down here watching this game.
Yeah, they're not really in good voice, though. We want to encourage, we're not asking for flares to be lit, but it's good to see this many number of people, but we want them to make some noise in the second half as we hunt that maiden All-Star goal. But the Spartans up 1-0 on the 40-minute mark. Avery was there, but Abdallah picks up the loose ball inside of his own half. He goes towards the byline and competes against Byron Grandamange and the linesman. Martinango goes back to his goalkeeper, rolls it between his feet and puts it out wide to his captain, Peter Pelikanos. This now, Petar Bjazovic runs diagonally infield. A lovely touch to penetrate through the All-Stars midfield line, a cross-field switch again. This is painting lines here by the Spartans. Dion Carl with space and time, and Owusu wet it well, and now they have their own chance. But look at the gap between lines here. Luckily, Michael Cullen is a trickster. Can he find the right pass? I can come short, and it's just too obvious. And the All-Stars really struggling here to create anything of notable significance. Dion Carl closing down Suarez, conceding a free kick there. Quite clearly the easiest decision of Darren Glover's season so far, for sure.
Probably about 5 minutes left at half-time if they didn't stop the time for the drink break. Otherwise, it could be a little bit longer that we can't tell.
Cleared away by Zwereb. One here, Araujo, and there are not enough numbers back. And the Spartans come forward again. Zwereb winning that one as the night sky seems to fall here across Blacktown Football Park. He just about keeps that in, does he?
No.
It will be a corner.
We could see our second goal from this corner.
We're going to be joined here by PL2 All-Star representative Sid Nadira. He's going to don Matty Hubbard's headset for a second. I just want to let this corner play out, Sid. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Thanks very much for coming up here. Just give it a second. A reminder, by the way, no swear words, please. We had that last night, and I got a fine from the BDSFA. We'll just let this corner play out, and then I'll bring you into the questioning. But thanks for coming on up. This will be an outswinger. 2 hands raised by Angus Chancellor was the front stick, and Pelikanos got onto it and headed towards goal again, Oscar Osei. So The PL2 fixture cancelled for like the third year in a row, my friends. Your chance to finally be a part of it after Prospect's grand final winning season. I'm going to interrupt myself again because Icon has a chance but cleared away. What are your thoughts on the game being cancelled at the 11th hour? Are you disappointed?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't think it was that hot, but obviously when you're playing you feel it better, you feel it more. But
Icon nearly crafted himself a chance. But 1-0 to Western Sydney Wanderers in the early 8 minutes, in the opening 8 minutes of that game. Wow, it's all happening there. Don't switch your screens over just yet. Have them both open at the same time. A chance for the one-time and sole goal scorer of this fixture to perhaps get a second. He's into the box and past Owusu. Expertly well done. And he wins a corner. So, Sid, I mean, how is the team training? How are they looking? And are they keen to have a midweek catch-up sometime in the near future?
Yeah, haven't discussed it too much, but yeah, they're very keen. We trained very well the other day, but yeah, obviously midweek game. But yeah, pretty good, pretty happy. Between
sort of 4 and 5.5 months since the grand final win, how good were the celebrations in the weeks following that, and especially the night off? How good was it, mate?
Oh, very great, very great. Can't remember much, but it was very great.
I'm sure it was.
Well, we weren't focused. We were thinking the Tigers playoff game. That was in the back of our minds.
That one's cleared away by Owusu on the edge of the box. The Spartans still threatening. And Spartans will recycle it here through Dion Carl. He turns provider, this time cleared away by Owusu, and Michael Adamarco gets on the ball here for Aaron Avery. This is a chance. Icon needs to make a run. It's 2v2, looking for the maiden goal in the All-Stars. Icon now bearing down on goal. A chance, but the captain of the Spartans stood real tall there. Wow, what a moment, Sid. But, yeah, just one more question to throw your way. That playoff match, another really, really great contest. Yeah. But I'm sure that didn't dampen the spirits of what was a great season for you guys at Prospect.
Definitely not.
Fantastic. Well, I'll let you get back to watching it in peace. Thanks so much for coming up here impromptu. Really do appreciate it. We'll get Matty Hubbard back on. What a chance, Matty Hubbard, for Ethan Icon, but well tracked by the 31-year-old Peter Pelikanos.
Yeah, he showed a bit of pace there, the defender, so well done, because Ethan's not a slow bloke.
Oh no, Owusu's gone down. I thought he might have been clutching at a hamstring there, but he was just being a little dramatic in the way he got back to his feet. Aaron Avery, pot shot from distance. Avery testing and stinging the palms of Marantos in goal, but a third pot shot from the player of the year. So a goal in the Sydney Derby, perhaps. But this is the battle for Blacktown, and that's a cross-field switch of play. That's been won by Josh Ross. Tracked back Byron Grandemange. Chance.
That's the first one.
Oh, my word. Ryan Fraser has scored a second goal.
No, that's the first one. That was just the highlight.
Oh, did it go in?
Yeah, that was the first one. I was on... Oh.
Anyway.
It's 1-1 now.
Well, it's 1-1. Anyway, keep your eyes on the battle for Blacktown, and we'll give you live goal updates from the Sydney Derby, because we know how many passionate A-League fans we do have that will also be tuning into this match right here. This is Bjazovic now as the Spartans look to close out the first half and keep this one-goal lead intact. And they've been exceptional so far, if not faultless, to start this match. This ball is sent in behind again. Jadon's wearable closed down Adi Abdallah, and then the recovery work by Pombart was absolutely pivotal there. But it will be another Spartans corner.
We'll be right on half-time here, trying not to concede here, the All-Stars.
This is the 45th minute that we've crossed into now. This might just be the last play of the game. There's been little to no need for added on time. But Angus Chance, who will swing this in with his left foot from the right-hand side, will again go towards the front post. Flick on Pelikanos! Exceptional move straight from the training ground. That will be the last moment of the first stanza. The Spartans, via Yusuf Aydin, have the ascendancy. It was a wonderful header. In truth, he couldn't miss, but what made it so wonderful was the build-up to the goal. Matty Hubbard, I think if you'd have given the All-Stars a deficit of 1-0, knowing that they're going to be playing a younger set of players in the second half, they probably would have taken it.
100% at the start of the game. I'm playing a quality team that's, worth a lot of money, Spartans, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they get paid. They turned up, they put in. The All-Stars put in even better. I think I'd be happy with that. Important to start the second half, but I think there'll be some subs early on from the All-Stars and bring some fresh legs on, and we'll actually see what the young future of Spartans looks like in the second half.
Certainly will. Keep an eye on your social media feeds for some halftime contents. Do not go anywhere. Dual screen, please, us in the Sydney Derby. But keep the commentary on here as we keep you updated on what is proving to be a fantastic night of exhibition football. 1-0 it is to the Spartans. Mark and Maddie here for you tonight for the 4th edition of the Battle for Blacktown. We'll see you in about 10 minutes or so. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The second half is just moments away from kicking off. As promised, we will take you through the ultra-rotated Spartans lineup after finding themselves 1 to the good in that first half where the fringe and cemented first graders combined to find that first goal. Matty Hubbard will be joining back in just 1 second. Here, in fact, he is, and we've got some quality to bring through the ranks. I'm just going to go through the lineup of these new Spartans boys quickly. So it will be Issa Taha in the number 42 jersey who steps between the sticks. I believe it to be a back five, so identical to the formation before of Ibi Assad in the 2, Jake Grossfelt in the 9, Zayan Sayed in the 25, and Nick Esposito making his third cap in the against the All-Stars. Riaz Sadiq, who spent 3 months on his own as a 15-year-old in Real Oviedo's trialist list, will start in the midfield alongside Kane Reed. Russell Machabaiwa will start in the 17 jersey, and Marko Jankovic, who's the brother of Milos, will start at the top. We have Dominic Gretsch and Divine Ogina in the 8 and 20 jersey, respectively. I have a friend, Victor Leby, who was representative of Pons and a grand final goal scorer a couple of years ago. Victor, thanks for joining us. How's your off-season been, my friend?
Well, the off-season has been good so far. You know, just been laying back, enjoying the English Premier League, and then, yeah.
What have you been making so far of the All-Stars and their performance? Plenty of friends out there. You think they're holding their own?
Yes, they are. You have to realize that I'm sure Spartans have started their preseason preparations like way before we did, and I'm really proud of what the boys are actually doing out there, trying to keep the ball, and yeah, so they've been really doing well out there.
They certainly have been, and we're still searching for that first goal against the first grade Spartans, but that wait, when it does finally come to end, it will be oh so brilliant. I just read out an entirely new team sheet, but it looks like the Spartans have actually kept their first graders on the pitch. That makes the task, at least of these opening minutes before the changes are officially made, all the more harder. What do you think, from your perspective, watching in from this first half, they could do differently to perhaps get a foothold in this game, Victor?
I think...
Oh, hang on, really, really good ball in, but just a bit overcooked. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think we need to be more sharper with the movement in transition, because Spartans obviously keep the ball better than we do, but then when we try and break to catch them off guard, we're just a little bit slow in transition, and we don't get our touches better. But I'm sure the boys would be able to crack them open the second half.
I completely agree with every word you just said. I'll let you go back to watching it from the sidelines. Thank you so much for joining us up here in the commentary box. A debut for Victor Leby on the mic as we head back and hand back to Matty Hubbard. So a first involvement, I think, for Kurt Elborough in the number 40 jersey. So Eastern Creek are represented here in the All-Stars in 2026. Matty Hubbard, those changes haven't happened. So all of the talk of playing against the young'uns, the old'uns, are still on the pitch.
Maybe the coach wants a little bit more from his first grade, a little bit more effort. I'm not sure why he's doing this with the game tomorrow, but it shows a little bit of respect to the All-Stars, how they're actually performing today. I went into the change room quickly just before halftime was over, and the All-Stars are actually, pretty motivated for this. They think, they could maybe get a goal and, do something in this second half. So good luck to them.
Yusuf Aydin got that ball off of Scott Jackson, who's also just come on for the All-Stars here, a second cap for the 37-year-old. This is going to be his 33rd year in a row playing association football in the BDSFA. Scotty Jackson, I think that would be at least a maintaining record. I can't imagine many will be able to match that 33 consecutive years. Now, interestingly, the youth team, as you may like, or the mix of 18s and 20s, have actually made their way right inside the fence. So they've gone from sitting in the bleachers to sitting right in the technical area. So we can imagine that change, after having warmed up during the stanza, the time between the stanzas at the halftime break, would certainly be looking likely to come on soon. How soon is the question? Maybe they will go with that 60-30 split. As mentioned, a chance for Icon to potentially clean up on that chest control that was a little bit undercooked, but in the end, easy claiming for Morantos in goal. This is Angus Chance, who came close with a couple of set pieces. What about his long ball antics now over Dion Carl and Scott Jackson? Jaden Zverev, this could be a big 50-50 here. That ball has stayed in, but Zverev read the flight of the touch really, really well. Back to Oscar Osei on his weaker left-hand side. He opts to go short. This is really dangerous. Put the ball out, Jaden. Living a little too dangerously here, trying to back his way out of trouble. He's done exceptionally well. That ball has stayed alive. That's Aaron Avery now.
That's Jaden will always back himself in tight corners. Well done to him.
Well, now the All-Stars find themselves under the pump. Potentially a long shot from distance coming in here. No, Angus Chance hasn't scored in over 12 months. What about for Jankovic? That's still Miloš on the pitch. By the way, Marko yet to come on, and the rotation does occur. And what we imagine is a couple of minutes. Those Spartans boys were warming up and doing ball movement at half-time, so they can't be far away. Sviligoj from distance. A pile-driving effort. It was raising, but eventually too high as it met Oscar Osei, tipping over the crossbar. And that was, in the end, just one that took the breath away, but no touch from the goalkeeper and just a goal kick.
Looks like we'll come for our first sub here, maybe, for Spartans.
Well, who is going to be the sole change? Somebody is there, or are they all about to change? I don't think either of them, I don't think anybody knows what's going on. They're all walking towards the sideline, but only one player is there to come on. We're about to have 11v1. What's going on? So the Spartans now aware that they're all not coming off. I think they're waiting to do so.
I don't think anyone knows what's going on, not even Glover at the moment.
No, a bit of communication would be nice. Nothing has changed whatsoever. We wait for the first Spartans substitutions. Kurt Elbra, who's represented Australia at the Futsal World Cup that played out in Oman. He came up against the likes of Christoph Kramer and Jibril Cisse, believe it or not. Peter Pelikanos, inside of the halfway semicircle, does well to find dropping in Jankovic here. This is Angus Chance, the number 11 at left wing back. That's a lovely sight to see. I rate that. Arayo. Chance goes all the way back to his captain. These two have played alongside each other for the last 4 years in Spartans colours. Adamarko trying to close down the Spartans defence on his own, but he's not really being helped by those around him. Marantos sends this back to his captain in the middle of the pitch, coming out of his own defensive third to play that long ball ping over Scott Jackson. And well dealt with there by Jaden Zverev. It's not really changed all too much out of the blocks, has it, Matty?
No, it's kind of a bit slow motion at the moment. Both teams just settling into this second half. So, and I thought Spartans, if they kept their first grade in, they would have come out and put their foot down, but they're in cruise control at the moment. 6 minutes into this second half.
It's we're going to get a change.
Very odd when they talked about subbing their whole team. They're only doing 2 at a time.
So Captain Peter Pelikanos comes off, as does Miloš Jankovic. We will let you know who has replaced the two. My guess would probably be Zayan Sayed. I will let you know as soon as I do.
But also, the coach might be doing it, bringing some young kids on to stay with some first grade to give them that experience and help them around the park rather than just throw them in the deep end.
Well, could that also mean that perhaps, well, actually, as Ethan Eichen here, but again, he's all on his own, and whenever anyone in an advanced position for the All-Stars gets the ball, they're on their own. That's the frustrating part. Dion Carl comes in square. Oh, lovely jit away from his man. Dion Carl had to track back to get it onto his left. Sviligoj. Back to Carl. Sliding challenge, sliding effort by Pombard, I do believe. Oh, and then he worked himself into danger, but luckily went out for a goal kick. Still yet to be able to tell you exactly who the subs are. I believe that to be, from at least appearance-wise, from as far away as we are, Alex Casella. I believe that to be the man entering his 3rd year of service at the club. I'll let you know as soon as I do. In fact, it's Kane Reid, who every single year, still is a 17-year-old, by the way. Kane Reid in that 63 jersey grows and grows and grows. Forgive me for mistaking him for a fully fledged adult. This is Kane Reid now. This is his first appearance in the PL1 contest.
Nice work there by Cullen.
It really was. Michael Cullen doing well. These two battled in the PL2 versus 20s game last year as Ethan Eichen's touch was a little bit loose and the X Factor King, who's a 4-time BDSFA Grand Final Player of the Match receiver, had that ball taken away at the 11th hour. Matthew Martinago has actually inherited the captain's armband after Peter Pelikanos made way. With, of course, another round of friendlies to go before their season opens up next week, Friday night at 30 against Hills United, of all teams. This is Bjazovic, finds Angus Chance, option square and ahead of him. This is Araujo. Lovely work there by Arroyo to get past one. He's into the box now. Square pass to the one-time goal scorer, and Yusuf Aiden had it stolen off of him. Oscar Onana claps his defence, knowing that at least his second half clean sheet so far is intact, but the Spartans have all the momentum in their favour right now. Martinago comes up as well. Still yet to see the majority of the changes. Maybe this means that the Spartans were a little bit surprised by the quality that they saw of the All-Stars, yet to make the changes because they want to hold on to this lead. Delivered in by chance, a deep looping one to the back stick. Sviligoy was there, and it came into the back posts. Yusuf Aydin, I think, was the one who was running in to try and meet it, and I think he did get the last touch because it's a goal kick. So we have Kyle Jordan here, who is, of course, the head of football for the BDSFA, but also the boys' TD, and the head of the youth program on the boys' side, which has seen a dramatic turnaround in form and fortune in the last 3 years that he's been a part of this gig. First of all, some of your young boys are set to be coming on to this second half. Can you give us a bit of insight as to when that might be?
Yeah, we've got a few boys currently on the pitch. Addison Abdallah, who's currently playing left wing back at the moment, number 65.
He's been exceptional, and he picked up goal contributions last time in this fixture as well.
And then we've got Riaz, currently playing as a right wing back. Just came on the pitch. Kane Reid, closest to the ball right now.
That's him involved there up against Matty Pombart. This is a real chance for the Spartans. Pombart dizzy-dazzled and frazzled, but Michael Cullen picks it up.
I think Kane's been at the club since under 9s.
Yeah, he's a multi-year servant of the club, and he's a SAP graduate, is Kane Reid. So this is a fantastic coming-of-age moment for him playing some senior football. But tell us more about, and for the Spartans fans tuning in, or perhaps parents listening right now that might want to bring their kids into the Spartans youth program in next year or even before the season starts. How have you been running things? How can you sort of summarise your time in a couple of sentences?
Look, we pride ourselves on having a real positive environment, a learning environment, not just for the players but also for all the staff. There's a genuine care for all of our players within the programme. We believe in, trying to promote them as and when they're ready. Obviously, tonight is a perfect example of that. We've been progressing over the last couple of years.
Chancey, I'm going to interrupt you here because Yusuf Aydin's back on the ball, and he has it find its way back to Adi Abdallah, who just skims past the left-hand upright.
Yeah, so we've been progressing over the last couple of years. We're attracting a lot of players from within the local area, but especially Greater Sydney region. A lot of players are wanting to come to Spartans and be a part of the programme. So that's fantastic.
What are your goals for the season?
Ultimately, I don't want to put a position on it, but ideally, from a youth championship point of view, we want to improve on our position from last year. 2 hands
raised, easily claimed by Oscar Osei. Well, that's fantastic. I'll just ask you one more question. The likes of Kual Mijak and Dom Grek, separated by about 6 months between when they joined up with the youth boys. As that ball comes central, as the All-Stars try and win something in a high-up area of the Spartans' defence. But those boys have come from, Dom's come from the Quakers Hill Tigers landscape, and also previously to that, the AIL system. And of course, Kual played in the promotion playoff game for Prospect just less than 6 months ago. So both of those boys have found their way and will be scoring goals this year up front for, I imagine, your 16s and 18s teams and potentially even 20s. What does that say to the players who might be listening to this, who are playing in the BDSFA right now, who want to make the jump into Spartans land?
Yeah, of course. Look, we never overlook any players that have come from club. Usually when an expression of interest goes out, everyone has the opportunity to upload videos and game footage. Qual did that, so we watched a lot of footage of him playing Premier League 2 with Prospect, if I'm correct.
Correct.
And he's...
Ball in by Adi Abdallah. Forgive me, another header towards goal. Goes out for a goal kick.
He's a fantastic young player, great talent. Really excited to see how he progresses this season. With Dom, Dom's been with us for, I think, 2 years now. Quakers Hill Tigers, then into AYL. Again, I think he's a fantastic finisher, which you don't usually see much of. Everyone wants to be a midfielder these days. Anything inside the box, he's fantastic. Again, great kid. High hopes for him as well.
One very last question. Adi Abdallah, obviously picking up goal contributions, plural, last year.
Yep.
Now playing in the PL1 fixture specifically.
Yep.
He's 18 years old. He's been in the club for approaching 10 years. He will achieve that by the time he turns 21. he's a first grader in the making, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, he's actually had first grade appearances. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before. Also Australian Cup appearances too. But yeah, he's actually, majority of the time he plays off the left-hand side. But both feet, you're not sure which one's his strongest one. Again, great kid. He's definitely the banner of the changing room. The boys absolutely love him. And he's one of our leaders. He's been a captain and for his team. So yeah, excited to see how he does in the coming 12 months.
Fantastic. And by the way, as I let you go back to your day job, which I should let you do, thank you for being here. But also, you have a great voice for the microphone, by the way, as this pot shot comes in from Kane Reid. I'll let you go back to where you're meant to be as another shot comes in as blocked. But thanks very much for your time, Mr. Carl Jordan.
No problem at all.
Really
and you're not too bad either.
Oh, I appreciate that. A couple more years experience.
Thank you.
Really do appreciate your time. Approaching now the 60th minute of this match, a lot of subs being made. The Spartans are really testing their depth and the quality of their youth, which you've just spent about 5 to 6, even 7 minutes talking about there. So I hope you've learned something about the boys' youth program, because you're seeing it in action right now. We've pretty much, I believe now, changed the entire team. I can see Matthew Martinago, who's still a young'un himself. I think he's still 20s eligible, Mr. Martinago. In fact, I can double check. I believe he's 21, so he was just pushing past eligibility, but another young'un who's donning the captain's armband out there right now, here to hold down the rest of the defence. Arayo is another one of the more senior figures on the pitch. Sviligoy, the most senior. But it's all the young'uns. Adi Abdallah now on the ball. Matty Hubbard, welcome back to the microphone. Spartans quite dominant in these last 5 minutes.
They are, but I think the game might turn a little bit once all the young players are on. I mean, young players will make mistakes, and this is where this, here's a chance.
Really
here.
good chance. Should square it. Should score. Must be. And nearly a Kurt Elborough own goal. It would have been horrible to watch back right under the nose of the camera, but in the end, a haphazard clear that works out just well.
Yeah, it was actually, they did well there, structurally, defensively. I mean, they did get through easy Spartans, but we got back the Allstars and cleared that ball well. Nearly an own goal, but we'll take the corner. But danger signs here.
Still sitting so deep, the All-Stars, but they are taking on a lot of pressure. Typical Eastern Road. The lights at the intersection have gone out. They're flashing yellow, which means proceed with caution, as the All-Stars also are towards the front post. Oscar Osei makes a commanding palm away, but there was a foul in the presence of the 6-yard box, says Darren Glover, and out that goes. It will be via a free kick.
I think Aaron Avery's had a spell. That might be his night done now.
Yeah, we'll see. 60-odd minutes. Good to see one of your long-time football buddies, Scotty Jackson, get back on for another All-Stars cap representing the Tigers.
Yeah, it's good that there's at least one player from every club in Blacktown, and Scotty's been pretty much the player of the BDSFA comp, who's been the longest-serving player, probably will be, unless Jaden takes over in one day. But, yeah, well done to Scotty. Still a quality player for his age.
Sviligoy, as we mentioned just prior, one of the more senior players who will help the young'uns, I imagine, see out the rest of this game. Bad challenge by Ethan Eichen. I think on Adi Abdallah. That was not very kind, not very friendly-like, but anything to try and get back into this game at this point. It has been a long time since the All-Stars had a shot. This is probably the most dominant the Spartans have held the All-Stars to, sitting in a, I wouldn't even call it a mid-block at this point. I'd say it's a low block, and there are barely any numbers getting forward, and there's tired legs out there.
There must be still some first graders out there, because there's still 6 or 7 young kids sitting on the bench ready to go.
That's right, and they're all waiting with bated breath to get their chance. But even more concerning, just as we've lost Kyle Jordan to go back down to his TD duties, Jimmy Demetriou, who is the coach of the first grade, is going to contest with the fact that I think Adi Abdallah, who's been one of his star players, even though he's only 18, is looking injured, and it's as we go to a drinks break, it's not a half-hearted attempt at time wasting. He's not looking all right.
Hopefully we see Matty come on from Dooney Hawks in goals. I'd like to see everyone that's involved get some kind of game time today, so hopefully they make a goalkeeper change soon. Yeah,
and we got that last night with that ultra enthralling 4-goal game, split 3-1 the way of Spartans last night for the Women's Premier League contest. That was really, really good to see. So it's 2-1 the way of the Spartans up against the girls, who gave us such a great show. Always goals in that fixture. This one tends to be a bit more tight-lipped. Abdallah is back to his feet, but he is heading on the way out. And we will see what is to come out of the drinks break. Will we see an even younger average age appear? Still 1-1 in the Sydney Derby, by the way, but keep your eyes here That's about to go to halftime as well, so the remainder of this game will play out while that headline A-League fixture is having a rest. So away back into this game, I need to see the All-Stars sit a little bit less, Italy during the 60s, 70s and 80s, and a bit more attacking, a bit more PSG Champions League last season like.
I think, I don't know, if the score stays 1-0, maybe Kev might, take a defender off and try and push numbers forward to get a goal, to get that shootout, which all the fans want at the end of the night. We want some, bit of entertainment to end the night, but the All-Stars have just got to hang on here. They will start to get tired as this game goes on, and these young kids run like greyhounds are going to find space in behind.
That will be the ultimate test. They're not going to have superior technical or tactical understanding or ability, but they are going to have night and day difference when it comes to the energy in the tank and the legs. Darren Glover, our centre referee, is calling the teams back out into the middle. It's a final little tactical talk of this match, the final match of the day, before we will eventually play the rendezvous PL2 versus Spartans 20s All-Star Battle for Blacktown match at a date that is yet to be confirmed. A really healthy crowd out here at Blacktown Football Park. Awesome to see. Spartans, the first one to contest back to the middle of the park. The likes of Jake Grossfeld in the number 9 jersey, who's playing at centre-back. He's already over 6 foot and he's 16 years old. Although, for all those impressive physical qualities, the number 9 jersey on his back as a centre-back is sacrilege, in my opinion. But on he goes. And now the All-Stars will join the Spartans out onto the pitch. So we will play from the free kick that did occur after a little nudge on Adi Abdallah about 5 minutes ago, you may remember. Hopefully we get a bit of added on time. And we're about to get back underway. No changes, I think, for the All-Stars or the Spartans. Here at the right wing-back position is Nicholas Esposito. This is his 3rd All-Star cap. He's just come onto the pitch recently. Kane Reid, another. Oh, lovely incisive pass in behind, a chance. Pulled into the box and deflected away for a corner. They are breaking so quickly, Hubbard. It's hard to stop them.
It is, but, we're talking park footballers that haven't trained, so they will find space and get in behind. I think the All-Stars are doing very well, considering there's no fitness in them at all. These Spartans have been going since December last year, 3 days a week, so it will happen during the game at times.
Another goal would spell the end of the contest, almost assuredly. Pulled in towards the front post, cleared away, I think, by Jaden Zwereb. That is his mark and has been for the last 28 years of his career. Trickery on the far side, getting away from Michael Adamarco and all the way back to Morantos in goal, who first time crossfield switches to find Martinago, who then leaves it. It was picked up there by Zayan Sayed, who's also come onto the pitch to make his All-Star debut. 17-year-old, his first year at the club after joining in the off-season. He's also a BDSFA JDL under-9s coach, which is fantastic to see that the ranks are being coached by those up higher in the rank. A touch and a turn, and a immediate turn of pace, and a great pass in behind, and then trying to feed it through, but it was blocked off, and really well done there. That was Riaz Sadiq in the 64 jersey, who was the furthest player forward, and now trudging back into position and trying to feed it in behind, and unfortunately not to another white jersey for the All-Stars, who are really struggling to get any kind of foothold in this game. This is more like what you would expect from an NPL2 outfit towards the top of the table and the club championship standings to be doing against a team who have had no pre-season just yet.
We do welcome back another former Blacktown Spartans or association into the coaching ranks in the BDSFA comp. Jed Taylor's coming back to coach the Tigers. So some changes are there. Unfortunately, his son's moved from Doonside over out for the year, which is sad to see. As a quality player, Jake.
Oh, we have 2 number 2s on the pitch. Illegal. Stop the game right now. We have Araujo, who is also joined by Ibrahim Assad. So 2 number 2s on the pitch, but Assad does have his surname above his number. Of course, they both wear white boots in the night time, which is making visibility more difficult. So we'll have to compete with that. But the left wing back is, in fact, Ibi Assad, 16-year-old left wing back. Super Spartans, super youthful.
This is where I hope we get the ball here and try and play out of the back. Tired legs, but let's try and keep some ball rather than if we go long, we're just going to turn it over and give the ball back to them. I mean, it is easy up here to commentate and tell them what to do, but...
Well, I mean, you've done it before.
But, I mean, it's tough on Jaden. No one wants the ball at the moment, so...
No, it's tough. This goes towards Scotty Jackson, who does flick it on off his forehead. In tough was Grossfelt, the 16-year-old centre-back on Michael Adamarco, who's 11 years his senior. A chance here, and feeding it in behind. Icon, the X-Factor man, the grand final hero. Out comes the goalkeeper, who did really well to claim that. Ooh, and a little push and shove. Ooh, and that was a little tasty. Oh, and a kick away because Icon didn't get the decision he wanted. A slight moment of head loss there from the 26-year-old. But it's a show of frustration because the attackers are just not getting the ball. And if they do on a whim, they're not being supported, Hubs.
No, it just shows there is chances for the All-Stars to get in behind. So I think they may get one chance to tie this up.
Well, the Spartans looking to play it quickly, and this is the second number 2, Ibi Assad. He goes back to Zayan Sayed. Martinago, who's going to play the full game, it seems. This time with the captain's armband in this second half. Lovely, lovely, lovely work, and Pombard in strong. But again, 12 years the junior was the player he was competing against. And they're looking very whippy and very eager to impress Marcus Correa, trying to curl that ball around to his club strike partner teammate.
It's not often you see them two not click together.
Yeah, very rare. That's why they won a second grand final in 3 years, about 6 months ago. Kane Reid, lovely work. That was, I believe, Dominic Grech in the number 8 jersey. Sorry, the former Quakers Hill Tiger.
Oh, wind back that clock, Scotty Jackson.
Well done
beating
there.
players one-on-one.
And on he goes still. He's picked up a goal and 2 assists in Match of the Rounds in the last 5 years of the live streams. Can he get one in an All-Stars contest? It's been a while since that Quakers Hill Juniors goal, some 2 or 3 years ago, as another coming together there sees the Spartans fouled, that time via Michael Adamarco. But the All-Stars looking for anything to try and get some momentum in their favour because they're not having the rub of the green right now. They're being played off the park.
Captain's off now.
No, in fact, that's Sviligoy. So the former Town Ranger going off, as is the first person to wear the number 2 jersey. So off goes Paul Araujo. And we're back in play immediately. And that looks like Marko Jankovic to me, I do believe, who's come on. Will I be correct in saying that? We'll have a look at the shirt number in just a second. It is, in fact, Marko Jankovic, who picked up 11 goals and 5 assists, predominantly in the 20s last year. Looking to cement a first-grade spot. Sat on the bench and then came off of it 2 rounds in a row in round 23 and 24 last year, towards the back end of a season that offered a lot.
Looking over at the bench, that's Aaron Avery done for the night. He's got his basketball singlet on, boots off, so he's not coming back.
No, he's not. And a chance for the young Spartans now. A free kick given away and a real chance to do something dangerous here with less than 20 minutes to go. At least in normal time. There should be some added on for the drinks breaks that we've had. So another sub set to come on. And also Shia is coming on for some reason. Oh, okay, because Oscar Osei in Mariong's goal has gone down. Well, there was an obvious replacement on the bench. The grand final winning goalkeeper coming up against the grand final runner-up. And he's already getting his strapping on. He should get some minutes with 15 plus to go. I'm hoping this will be the impetus required to change that over. I believe that's Kane Reid standing over the free kick. In fact, it's not. It's a man who just came on, Marko Jankovic, Bonnyrigg youth product, who's made his way to the Spartans alongside his twin brother. Also onto the pitch, some more young'uns. I believe Arnav Chand has come on as well. Just yet to see the shirt number exactly. Yes, number 4, Arnav Chand. Chand, who is a Fiji international at under-16s level, which is fantastic. They've qualified for the U17 World Cup. Best of luck to him, presuming he makes the squad coming up. Former Nepean representative into his second year at the club. And Marko Jankovic will stand over it. And the Jankovic name is one that regularly gets among the goal contributions here in the Battle for Blacktown across several years now. An assist today, a goal last year. What can 19-year-old Marko do from about 25 yards out?
feel like he's going to put this in the back of the net.
Yeah, this is going to be dangerous. This will be good by Marko Jankovic. Goes low. Where will it fall to? An All-Star jersey, and that boot clears it away. Adamarko wasn't as quick there as Ibrahim Assad. A square pass from captain Martinago to Jake Grossfeld. Again, a 16-year-old centre-back already at 6 foot plus. That is incredible. Esposito, crossfield switch of play to find Ibi Assad. This is Syed in the 25 jersey. Now finds Jankovic. He took that free kick. Sorry to interrupt you.
Pretty much if the PL2 side's watching, it's probably the same side they're about to play whenever the catch-up is, so might be able to take some notes down.
Better get clued in, and there's more to come too. Look at this, twisting one way than the other, Syed, but they couldn't quite find Marko Jankovic. Kane Reid coming into the wing areas to pick up that ball and find Assad, the wing back. That's a poor pass, but it will actually eventuate in them retaining possession. Scott Jackson didn't quite read the flight path perfectly. An option to take a quick throw in. Arnav Chand is there, and he puts it into his own technical area, picked up by Jimmy Temetriou, his coach, and five-time Cypriot Youth International representative, Jimmy Temetriou. Throw in taken, Scott Jackson. A crossfield switch of play is certainly an option if they can find the space to wind up the swinging foot.
I think you can obviously tell the difference between first grade and the young kids. The ball movement is not as crisp. But
correct. Oh, geez, sorry. He went for a 30-yard hit and hope. You're exactly right.
But, I mean, these kids at 16, 17, what an experience it is. Also playing some ex-former NPL players as well. But they are quick. It's just their passing is not as crisp as obviously the first grade. But they're young kids and they're out here to learn, which is good to see. I love young kids getting a go at this level.
Indeed, we all do. And that's exactly right. With the slight lack of sharpness and quickness on the passes, that will come with a bit of experience and know-how. Esposito was the one who made that incisive run in-field as he split between two of the All-Stars attackers and then fed that pass out wide. Now he's taking this throw in.
I mean, it's also good to see. I think every club has been represented tonight from in the PL1, so it's good to see, and it's good by the coaches to pick one player from every squad that, to fill the rest of the players in the squad. So
exactly right.
Shows how the BDSFA competition actually is tonight, because they're standing up really well.
Chance, Dominic Grech. Well, here's the BDSFA AYL and junior success story. Goes for the finesse shots into the hands of a grateful goalkeeper. Dominic Grech, as mentioned by Kyle Jordan, the youth boys TD and BDSFA head of football, is one that they are banking a lot on as a tiny finisher for his age.
Love to see it. The All-Stars are trying to play out of the back. If they make a mistake, so be it. At least they're trying.
Yes, they're trying. And unfortunately, Danny McDougall, his passing radar wasn't quite fine-tuned there.
He's still putting in a good shift. He's been going all game running that midfield, so take your hat off to him. He's put in a good performance.
No change of goalkeeper. Still, Marantos stays in net, the 23-year-old. Switching out wide to Esposito. Well, lovely work there. Clearly a foul, but advantage is played. Well, in fact, not, because the referee didn't call it once the possession changed hands. Michael Cullen trying to feed in behind to Correa, just not happening for the All-Stars and attack at midfield. Marko Jankovic, I do believe. Indeed it is. Looking for an underlap. He finds it. Kane Reid, one pass, one touch out immediately to Ibi Assad. Then tries the reversal, but only finds Matty Pombart, who then divots past one. He's having his shirt tugged. Clearly a foul, but no need to call it because the All-Stars still have the ball. Danny McDougall, second cap. Jaden Zorab, fourth. Lovely pass to break that attacking press. Cullen, a little slow, a little worse for wear there. Picked up Jankovic. Arnav Chand, really well intercepted there by Scotty Jackson. 37 years of experience in that read right there. Chand, Kane Reid now. This is Ibi Assad. He's a plumber by day and clearly a very, very competent wingback by night. Martinago, the latest centre-back to go for a perfectly timed cross-field switch of play, but the control by Esposito too loose, and Scotty Jackson read it. Now the All-Stars trying to work their way out of danger because there's no left back in position. And now they drive straight at goal, and a chance for Spartans to find their second goal, which would surely end the contest. Lovely pass, and this is really beautiful. And the shot was undercooked. Unbelievable that they haven't scored there. But the build-up was so good. The coaches must be impressed with everything but the final moment.
Going to see a keeper change here for Spartans next out.
Assad beat the press of Eastern Creek's Kurt Elbra. Oof. In strong. Oh, lovely work. Greg. Izzy and Sophia, his older sisters.
Good ball.
Who are watching here today. And Izzy, of course, played for both Spartans and the All-Stars last night in Women's Premier League battle for Blacktown. And we're going to head to the bench once again. So a keeper change of foot for both teams, it seems. Off comes Amarantos, who keeps a 75 to 80-minute clean sheet. I believe this to be a certain Daniel Petsalis, who comes on for his competitive debut. Well, it's certainly not Anthony Buzanis. Chand.
Oh, ambitious
Little
shooting
dink.
that far.
Oh, lovely tee up. But Scott Jackson read it really well. No injury concerns for him and his hamstrings at the moment. He's playing pretty brilliantly. But the Spartans are trying to survive. It's Greg, and it's saved by the quick-moving legs of Oscar Osei. Man, if Matt Dudgeon finds his way onto the pitch for the All-Stars, he's going to have to fine-tune very, very quickly, because they are putting the pressure on the All-Stars. Although a chance, feed it in behind, forced to play long, just under hit and misdirected. Just not happening for the All-Stars, and as time ticks away, it's more of a guessing game of if and when the Spartans will find the deficit doubler. Martinaga being pressed by Adamarco. This is Grossfelt. Given away Correa, but then just ricocheted a little too firmly off his left foot. Unfortunate for the Golden Boot runner-up 2 seasons ago. Golden Boot runner-up with 22 strikes. That's rather unfortunate. Great touch, square into space by Jankovic, who's been good off the bench. Cuts back inside past his oppressor, Josh Ross. Now runs diagonally towards goal. Tries to feed it in towards Greg. Sliding was Zwereb.
Here we go.
Here we go. A chance for Michael Cullen. Has to play his namesake, Michael Adamarco, through first time. And again, it was under hit and well read. Spartans allowing the All-Stars to grow into it a little bit in the last couple of minutes. Can they get a bit of hope from this? Is there a change of foot potentially off the bench? They've missed Dylan Owusu out the back for sure.
Oh, man.
Correa just took too long to respond there, unfortunately. I think that's Kual Magic. Mijak, I should say, forgive me. And now one of the All-Stars has gone down.
It's Ahmed. Oh, no, it's not Ahmed.
Ahmed's on his feet. It looks like Marcus Correa, is clutching one of his ankles. And could be another horror story for the All-Stars here. So what you think is likely the last set of changes are afoot for both teams. There's going to be a goalkeeper change. Oscar Osei comes off after 80 minutes, where he's made a couple of really good saves, hasn't he, Matty?
Yes, he has. He's probably been All-Stars, probably in the top 2 players of the match so far, I think, with the saves he's done.
The 2 grand final goalkeepers swapping over here. The runner-up for the victor. Matt Dudgeon makes an All-Star competitive debut. He's recovered from 2 shoulder reconstructions, one where he missed a full season because of it, to be one of the keepers considered All-Star potential. Dylan Owusu looks like he's coming back on. Josh Ross is going to come off. Byron Granderange makes his way back on. Byron Granderange with a bit of fresh recovery in his legs, I can imagine. He's going to try and attempt to be the, I think Kevy and Shia are hoping he's the dynamic force off the bench that can do something, maybe hit one that, upsets a goalkeeper's hands. Who knows?
Scotty Jackson's gone off too, so he put in a good stint at 37 years old. Probably his farewell season as well, so well done to him.
Farewell, at least in Premier League, perhaps.
I think he might take up a coaching role with Jet at Tigers, so
that'd be good for him. Trading there. Jankovic goes to curl it in the end. It became a cross. It curled all the way out, hitting one of the advertising boards on the far side. Still flashing yellow lights on Eastern Road, by the way. Where is the support?
It might be a sign they're flashing for the Spartans colours.
Truly the home team advantage. So it has to be now for the All-Stars, you imagine. in the closing moments of this fixture. Is it going to be a third successive year where it's going to end 1-0 the way of those in orange? We will see. Onto the pitch as well is Andy Youssef in the 18 jersey. Well won in the Sky game by Martinago, who is most certainly the most senior figure on the pitch now. Byron Grandemainge, fresh legs. He fouled his man there.
What would be the average age out there now for Spartans? We're talking 18, 19 average?
Let me do some quick maths. I would say it's probably 18.
Jesus.
Maybe 18 and a half. But it's sprightly. Bounce, 1-2.
The young generation just keep getting better. It's hard to keep up with.
I just can't believe that there's players out there who are bordering on being born in 2010. You missed everything already. Everything cool has already happened, my friends. Lovely quick footwork. Grandemainge trying to close him down. Good ball towards the back stick. And away. That's Divine Ojina in the 20 jersey. He himself is just 17, formerly of Marconi. And his cousin is Shemen Koroma, by the way, who he might contest against in the PL2 All-Stars match, as Matt Dudgeon makes the easiest save of his season so far, for sure. Divine Ojina, that went just over his head there, the number 20. Picked up 14 goals and 5 assists in his debut Spartan season. Clearly fouled there, Michael Adamarco. And Darren Glover gives it after holding off 4 young players around him.
Come on, kick on. We need a goal here. We want shootout.
There's 5 minutes left to go, and 5 minutes for the All-Stars to draw level. They've barely had a pipe-it goal all match. It's been a difficult watch, but can the football gods provide something unexpected? Daniel McDougall whips it in. It's bounced once. Owusu is there. The ball is still alive. Can they cross it into space? It's been cleared away by the Spartans. Picked up there by Pombart. He loses the ball. Arnav Chand did well. And away come the Spartans, the young Spartans, the sprightly Spartans. Lovely work. And away they go. This is much, much better. Sent out wide Esposito. Many men in the box in orange. All-Stars hitting and hoping. And it was put into the side netting. They survive. And it's going to just be a goal kick. There's less than 5 minutes left to go. But that was the closest they've come potentially all game, Matty.
They broke pretty quick there, the young kids. But All-Stars did well to get back. I mean, considering they pushed a lot of number forward up on that free kick there. So, structurally they got back well. So well done to them.
Dudgeon, who saw that go into his side netting, I'm sure feeling like a relieved man. Must be hard for a goalkeeper if you only have them to play 10 minutes and concede half the goals. That would not be fun. Kane Reid, super strong 17-year-old. Grandemainge, he's going to get there first. And he tries to keep it in from going out. It doesn't do that. And it's just, that's been the case for the All-Stars all game. Passes, it's a little bit too overhit, a little bit too undercooked.
This would have to be the closest scoreline in the last 4 or 5 years of an All-Star game, wouldn't it?
Well, no, the last 3 have ended, well, if this one ends 1-0, the last 3 would have ended 1-0. Last year was a 1-0. The year before that was a 1-0. And this is currently...
I think there was one before that was like 5-1 or 5-0.
Yeah, the very first year.
Some guy scored 4 goals in the game.
Wasn't great. But that's yesteryear. We've come a long way since then, as has the quality of the competition. Off goes Kane Reid, so a second half stint that ends prematurely. I think that is going to be Chris Meekins who comes on. I can't exactly tell yet. We will see. But if it is, congratulations. Welcome to the battle for Blacktown. Another 17-year-old comes on, bringing the average age down by a couple of days. Petsalis plays that short. Goes back to the goalkeeper, who's also just come onto the pitch recently. He clears Adamarco. Got a clip of him. Darren Glover said nothing to it, and now given because the All-Stars got the ball back. But look where they would have had it. There's just a couple of minutes left to go. The All-Stars running out of time. It's now or never. You can also see coming onto the pitch in the number 16 jersey is Yuman Kim. His first year at the club. That is, in fact, Chris Meekins in the 13 with that bleached blonde hair. So we have a bleached blonde right-sided player in each half for the Spartans. Goes a little bit too far. Divine Ojina. All-Stars know that they're running out of time. Hopefully we get a little bit of added on time to give us the best chance of seeing a late goal that changes things around. Oh, a little high elbow up there, perhaps. Well, not given. Just going to be a throw-in as the ball went dead.
I'm thinking we got to throw some numbers forward here. If we can see 2, we can see 2. But let's throw 3 or 4 up front and try and get a goal here.
Yeah, the All-Stars are not looking to bring anybody on to make those, that little X factor in the last moment. As a free kick has been given away by the All-Stars in favour of the Spartans. Nobody warming up on the All-Stars bench. So the team that's on the pitch right now is the team that's likely going to see the game out, barring an injury in the closing moments of it. So put some numbers forward, defend this free kick and go from there. They would be very aware how much time is left. Martinago is going to come forward. He's one of the tallest players on the pitch. The captain of this second half. And standing over it is, in fact, Chris Meekins. St George youth product, formerly of the Sutherland Sharks. So he picked up 6 assists last campaign, did Meekins. He plays this one short. Esposito, I do believe, putting that one into the box, and it was cleared away. Sydney Derby score update. The Sydney FC boys are up 2-1 after a scuffle in the box. Very similar to what Alu Kuol scored in the first derby between the two. 2-1 up the Sky Blues. Anyway, back to the battle for Blacktown. The real derby happening here in Western Sydney. Rudy Hill specifically. 2 hands raised. What have the young Spartans got here? Lovely, strong hands. Dudgeon. And if he doesn't get any more moments on the ball with his short stint, that's one to cherish. Oh, I thought that might have been the full-time whistle there, Matty. But, by the way, guys, stick around because Matty and I will dissect everything we saw in the second half, but across the entire 90 minutes, what we were impressed by, perhaps who we'd give the man of the match to in an All-Star jersey. Don't go anywhere after full-time. Still plenty to come and plenty of analysis as well. But minutes left to go as the All-Stars cross the halfway line. Icon trying to find a white jersey, instead finding orange and black. It's been the story of the whole game so far. The All-Stars need a miracle to get out of this one and potentially head to a penalty shootout, but we all want to see it, Jaden Zwerb will recover the loose ball. He goes back to his club goalkeeper, Matty Dudgeon. And Dudge will clear towards Byron Grandemain. The Doonside boys trying to link up, but that was really well done by Yuman Kim. Seconds left to go in this one. We've crossed past 90. Owusu back in his right back position. This is a hark back to a couple of years ago. Grandemain's involved. That was well done there by Kim. And the All-Stars, they had a chance, but it went past Icon and McDougall. Well done there by Grossfeldt. Martinago, he's going on another run, but then he's given it away, but lucky that the shimmy ended up finding a Spartans jersey. Meekins.
One of the first times you've seen Ethan not score on the synthetic here at BDSFA.
No, almost unbelievable. Spartans with a chance to double the deficit in the last moments of this game. A look at the watch by the referee. Meekins goes back to the halfway line to find Arnav Chand. Turned by Divan Ojina. Lovely chance at 3-on-1. Jaden Zwerb is the only one back, though, and he basically counts as 2 as Dudgeon picks it up. That'll do it. Full time, says Darren Glover. A third consecutive 1-0 win for the Spartans. A 4th consecutive Battle for Blacktown victory for the first grade squad. Another close one with a goal that came in the first stanza. It was, in fact, scored by, of course, Yusuf Aiden, provided by Milos Jankovic. 2 teenagers linking up here on the live stream. The Battle for Blacktown for the second night in a row goes the way of the Spartans. Matty, let's dissect that game a little bit. Deserved winners, first and foremost.
Obviously, the quality showed over 90 minutes of Spartan, and when the young kids on, that showed that the club's in good hands for coming forward if they get a few first graders injured. But, you expect that when you start pre-season in December and the All-Stars start pre-season Tuesday night, 1 game, 3-4 days before this game tonight. So, hats off to the All-Stars. They put in a good shift.
I think a lot of people will be watching this, and I'm also having these thoughts, these demons in my head telling me right now that, wow, the All-Stars didn't really seem in that game. But the performance aspects to be proud of is what they showed in resolute defence and great goalkeeping as well. Yes, we haven't made as many chances as we did in previous years, but, geez, they were really well structured, weren't they? And as a defender, you must appreciate that.
Yeah, as I said, they structurally sat back and they had a block wall, so it was hard for Spartans to get through. When you're trying to break down 11 virtually defenders for 90 minutes, it does make it hard. And then when you have so many substitutions, the structure goes out and stuff like that. So, yeah, they did well. I don't know if you could pinpoint one player for the All-Stars. I think all 16 put in a shift tonight.
I think Jaden Zwerb was pretty good in defence. He played the entire game as well. We'll shout out a couple of Spartans boys. In particular, I think Peter Pelikanos, the captain, has to be proud of a 4th consecutive Battle for Blacktown win, and hopefully he says some nice words on the mic, which we'll let you guys enjoy, and we'll butt off around then. But Yeah, I think in attack it just didn't quite happen for the All-Stars, but that's okay. They come up against the most resolute Spartan side that we've seen, who are also nursing players to play a game tomorrow. It shows the level and how high that bar has been set. Anybody in particular in Sparta's colours who impressed you?
I think Kyle out wide on the right, I think he's going to be an absolute weapon in that NPL competition. So if you, they do show the games on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. So for people at home, I reckon watch out for him this year. I'll be surprised if he doesn't score at least 10 goals during the year. Or
come and watch him on Friday night, 8:30. They'll be taking on Hills United, who of course have been pretty good in recent years, and they're coached by the now were coached by the now Wanderers gaffer in GVE, Gary Van Egmond. Look, we're about to preview a little bit of the Blacktown Premier League All-Stars, Blacktown Premier League season as Sydney FC go 3-1 up at home. Wow, what a turnaround in form and performance it seems from the Sky Blues. But look, Matty, obviously you're still playing another year out at Ponds. Are you excited for the year coming up? And are we going to see you in round one, considering your recent health issues?
Well, I hope I can get there round one. I mean, without doing a pre-season, we have a pretty strong squad this year. So, I mean, you got to do the right thing. They perform in pre-season. I come back late. I just find my way back to reserve grade, and when my time's right, I'll go back in. But while the kids are doing the right job there, then I miss out. Tough luck. Doesn't matter that I've been around a long time. Kids go in your spot, they do better, you miss out.
Let's wrap it up there, Matty. It's been a pleasure to have you on here. You are well tipped as a young commentator yourself to take over this role at any time. You let me know when you'd like to change hands. I'll happily step into the heart of a good centre-back partnership with Victor Levy at the Ponds. I feel like I could do it. It's got to grow a couple of inches, but I'm 24. It could still happen.
Losing finals?
Well, look, I like getting to finals. I'm a move a half glass
we're good at that.
Full guy.
Ponds are good at that. We just can't get over that next step.
It'll get there. But again, credit to the Spartans who did exactly what they needed to do, and best of luck to them with their final trial match tomorrow. Their last training sessions before the preseason comes to an end and the season starts. For the All-Star boys, I hope that after the African Cup and the Invasion Cup for a lot of them, they get some rest before the season starts up again around that March, April time. Matty, thanks very much for being on here. I really do appreciate it, mate. And any final words?
Just good luck to the Spartans, and if anyone watching at home, get down and watch the local Premier League this year. PL1, PL2, it's going to be a crack year in both age groups, both divisions. Absolutely it is. That's all from us. Mark Napoli here with Matty Hubbard. Thanks very much for joining in, guys. Go in and enjoy the rest of the Sydney Derby. And always remember, drive safely.